I always kind of found this zone pretty basic anyways. Hey everybody, what's up? It's your boy Vitamin M, and today we're playing Sonic 3 and Knuckles once again as we continue our run with Knuckles here. Oh my gosh, in Launch Base Zone. In the last episode, we got through quite a bit of the game. We had a little bit of trouble in Marble Garden Zone, and we marred our way very, very easily through Carnival Night Zone, super duper fast. And then we made through Ice Cap Zone. But starting off here, we've got that super ring there that you can already grab, which I did not get this time as Sonic. I went the other way on the top of that, that spinning, the big cylinder spinning thing. Yeah, that's a good name for it. But it takes you to the same place if you go down below. But yeah, we're back here playing as Knuckles, and where we left off, if you're paying attention to the background there, you can actually see that the Death Egg was not there. And you're probably wondering, why is that? Well, if you remember when I was talking about this in the first episode, playing as Knuckles, it's very likely that Knuckles' story takes place after the events of Sonic's story, particularly if you get the good ending. So, because of that, well, after that, the Death Egg is destroyed, but you still have an Egg Robo to deal with and everything like that. So that makes sense why that's not the background there, but we're still coming around here, and Egg Robo's probably giving us some trouble here. But that's essentially why that's not there. Actually, for kind of some nitpicky trivia, if you will, I believe the colors of the Death Egg in the background are different between Sonic 3 and Sonic 3 and Knuckles, for anyone who was interested in that. But yeah, it was pretty interesting, for sure. So we're just going real fast here with the super sneaker we just found there. And, you know, we're just having a blast here. Going so fast as Knuckles. We're pretty much invincible. Nobody can stop us. We are zooming right through. And, whoa! Okay, maybe that frog can get us, but that sucks. Whoa! Okay, yeah, you want to watch out for those red springs if you go down below. Though, just kind of more of a nuance, if anything. Not a huge deal. Watch out for those spiky bulb dudes. They are the worst. Already really got to talk about how much I abhor them. But yeah, so a little bit more about Knuckles' trivia here. So, we've been... because we're playing Sonic 3 and Knuckles... Whoa! Oh, crap, I didn't grab that ring. Darn it. Anyways, because we're playing Sonic 3 and Knuckles, we're hearing a lot of different music than we typically would if we were playing Sonic 3. So, because of that, if you're noticing the invincibility theme is kind of this high-pitched sound, more so, that would actually be different. Okay, I've just got surrounded there. No, I don't want to be back here. I want to get away from that guy. Okay. The invincibility theme is a lot different in this game. It's actually the invincibility theme from Sonic and Knuckles. And Knuckles' theme is actually the same as the... I'm trying to think here. More is actually Knuckles' theme in Sonic and Knuckles. Now, if you ask, well, what is, by chance, the theme for Knuckles in... What are these musical cues in the real game? Or in Sonic 3 by itself? Well, that's a fair question. So, the invincibility theme in Sonic 3 would actually be based off of the main theme that you would hear at the title screen for Sonic 3. So because we're playing Sonic 3 and Knuckles, we hear a different title theme, or title screen song. So, wow, way to get gimped. So with Sonic 3 and Knuckles, you actually hear the title screen song for Sonic and Knuckles. But in Sonic 3, it's actually pretty good. It's a little different. But that one's still pretty good, and that one is basically the basis of the invincibility theme in Sonic 3. Now, for the Knuckles' theme, and actually the mid-boss theme is different too. The mid-boss theme, and as I said before, Knuckles' theme in this game is from Sonic and Knuckles. Both of those tracks are. Knuckles' theme is definitely, I would say, better in Sonic 3. It's more of a backbeat with the drums. It's definitely really, really cool, if I do say so myself. And probably really inspired by Michael Jackson's efforts on the project, for sure. And yeah, so, and then the mid-boss theme. It's definitely more hip, I would say. It's definitely got more of a backbeat to it, and you can actually hear voice clips of "Come on," and I think "Ooh, woo!" You know, that was probably my best Michael Jackson impression, but my microphone's probably not going to pick up everything with it. But anyways, come on, I want to kill that snail. Okay, here we are. But yeah, so those were, I like to think those were voice clips from Michael Jackson. It definitely kind of sounds like him, but the audio is pretty compressed, unfortunately. But yeah, that's just my thoughts. I could be totally wrong, and that's okay. You know, one can dream, as much as we say. But yeah, just a little bit of trivia on that for sure. So actually here, because Sonic's story is different, we have this area over here. And whoa, okay, so we're actually exploring this building now. But we're going to have the same boss. But there's only going to be 2 of them now. But that's okay. We are Super Knuckles. Nothing can stop us. We are going to be kicking it real good here. We're putting on the Ritz, my dudes. We're giving them a hard time. Come on. Alright, I think they both need one more hit. No, that guy needs one more. Okay, come on down here. You can't take me. You can't take me. Alright. Woo! Awesome. That was pretty great. It's pretty cool how they change up some things. But Knuckles got through Act 1. So we got one more act to get through Sonic 3 here. Then we get to the Knuckles portion. Sonic and Knuckles. So already, as you can tell, this one is starting you in a different place in the zone, because obviously the story is very different. So, because of that, whoa, hey! Because of that, we're going to be on these pipes from the other version of this, but we're just kind of having some fun with it. Another thing, I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but actually the color palettes in this game are very much tied to the character you're playing as. So if you're playing as Sonic, oh, come on. If you're playing as Sonic, the color palette for a lot of things will be, whoa! Okay, I don't want to be down here. Color palette for things will actually be red, or excuse me, will actually be blue and yellow. So the colors around Sonic's name, everything such as that, will be there. The little, I don't know what you call them, I kind of see them as fireballs, I guess. Little fireball looking things when you clear a zone, and it says time, score, and then total score and everything such as that. Those are actually tied to Sonic's palette swap, or palette colors, yellow and blue. And also, like I said, the letters too. So, a lot of things in the game will actually load his palette, which is definitely pretty interesting. Now, if you're playing as Knuckles, the palette will swap to green and red. So, as you've been seeing, his letters at the stage clear have been red and green, and those little fireball things have been red also. Which, you know, really cool how they save memory that way, I guess, and really tie it to that. But you're probably wondering, well, what is Tails' color palette? And it just simply takes on Sonic's color palette. Nothing too crazy there. But kind of expected, you know, he's got the whole yellow thing going. Oh, come on. Man, I'm struggling. I haven't played this portion of the game in a long time, I do have to say. Whoa, okay, we're not gonna hitch a ride. That sucks. So yeah, we'll get to Tails eventually, but, you know, we're enjoying our time as Knuckles as we're chuckling our way through this. And that's the interesting thing about this part of the game, too, is now we've broken that pipe and now water is going to be rising. We're trying to I don't think we're trying to beat it, I think we're more trying to, yeah, no, we're going to have to beat it. I don't see any air bubbles. Oh boy. We're going to have to try to beat it and get out of the water. And there we are. We're back to this part of the stage with Sonic now. So here, if you were playing as Sonic, you could actually get to this part. But Knuckles' part, I believe you cannot get to. there with Sonic. But as you saw there, the color of the water droplet on the water shield monitor was actually red, and that's actually tied to Knuckles' palette. Obviously, like I said, red and green. Which, kind of interesting that they would choose that, but, you know, save some memory, I guess. I can't fault them for that. This was a pretty huge game with everything they were trying to do. Very ambitious project, period. If you remember, we couldn't get to this area as Sonic, but now we can with Knuckles. So, that'll take us... Whoa, okay, we're going downhill from right now. That'll take us to this portion right here. And we're going to explore the zone a little bit further, because we would have had that boss fight down there. Okay? Alright, let's keep on rolling. And here we are at this boss fight. It's the same machine as before. No, okay. I thought he was going to grab those rings. Come on, man. Oh well. It's the same machine as before at the end of Sonic's portion of Sonic 3. Or, excuse me, at Sonic's portion of the story. But I think we might be facing the enemy here. But basic, you know, same thing happens here. Just trying to get on top of him. Watch out for that spiky ball there. But it's Egg Robo, so be careful. It's not exactly Dr. Robotnik, so he may not be as smart. But you know, we're Knuckles. We like to chuckle. We're tougher than the rest of them. When we drive, we buckle up. You know, we know what's up. Oh, come on. Oh, I need that ring. Thank you. Okay. But you know, not a very hard boss fight whatsoever. Period. Oh my gosh, I missed him? Are you serious? Okay. That should do it. Awesome. And now, if we were playing Sonic 3, this would be the final boss of Sonic 3. This is known as Big Arm. So basically, you want to watch out for his arms, obviously, for when he would grab you. If he grabs you, he would hurt you, and I think slam you down or so. He's not very hard whatsoever. He's a little underwhelming, especially for a final boss fight. Just with how underwhelming he is, you can really definitely tell that there was more to the game when they were planning it out, for sure. So, just kind of interesting. But watch out for when he's grabbing you there. And just time your jumps well, and you're going to be doing just fine. But I always liked how they managed to squeeze this part into the game, into the full game, and add, obviously, some variation playing as different characters here. But that'll be it for Egg Robo here. So that is the end of Launch Base Zone. And we're just going to free our animal buddies there. And actually some of the birds, as you saw there, they're red. Their colors are actually tied to what character you're playing as. So Knuckles got through Act 2. So that is the end of Sonic 3 for Knuckles. Oh, shoot. Whoa, okay. And welcome back to Mushroom Hill Zone. By far one of my favorite zones in the entire game, and we're back here and we're kicking it. Now, I'll get into the differences between Sonic 3 and Knuckles here. Sonic 3 and the rest of the games, but right off the bat, we've got a super ring here. And the name of the game is no different, as we see all these Chaos Emeralds fly off into the distance. So, going into this, you have to have at least one Chaos Emerald to... you need to have at least one Chaos Emerald to play one of the bonus stages. If you don't have one, the game will just kick you out. You just have to stand on the teleporter there. But let's start off with this one most to the left here. This one shouldn't be too bad, if I remember correctly. So we're going to have some fun. And, once again, get all 7 Chaos Emeralds in the Sonic 3 portion of the game, and you're going to be looking pretty good to get Hyper Knuckles through the Sonic and Knuckles portion of the game. Same rules really apply. There's not a whole lot different between the characters when it comes to the bonus stages. It just really comes down to their abilities. And honestly, because you're going to be traveling through different parts of the zones, depending on which character you play as, that's going to really impact your availability of getting super rings throughout stages. So just keep that in mind as you're going about it. But when it comes to the bonus stages themselves, nothing unique, period, whatsoever. Just the same. And we've already got to continue there, so we're not going to have to use that, I hope. So I haven't died. Well, no, that would be a lie. I have died a lot, unfortunately, through this playthrough. And, you know, it's been a while since I played as Knuckles, but that's okay. You know, we're making our way. We're finding our way. We're finding our way. I'm trying to get all these rings here too. I think I might have... Whoa, ruined my chances of getting perfect, but okay. You know, we're using those bouncy... Okay, I have no idea why it does that. We're using these bouncy boys to help us out. Okay, I need to get to that area over there. Okay. Alright, found these guys. Alright, we got one more of these to go. So we're not getting the perfect, but that's okay. Okay, there they are. Very, very simple again. Same bonus stages. You're not really going to have a hard time. But once again, we have gained our very first Super Emerald. So way to go, Knuckles. We're looking pretty good right here, my dudes, if I do say so myself. We got 6 more to go, and really 4 more zones to get them through. But that's pretty much your free Super Ring here. So throughout Mushroom Hill, I really remember a lot of where Sonic's rings are. So I'm going to be trying to get to Sonic's paths as much as I can. But we just punching it through that wall there. So I wanted to talk about the differences between Sonic and Knuckles and Sonic 3 and Knuckles when it comes to this portion of the game now. Now, for Knuckles' story with this, it would start off very differently. So at the title screen of Sonic and Knuckles, you would actually get to choose which character you want to play as. You can play as Sonic, or you can play as Knuckles. The choice is yours. But you can't... Interesting. Okay, never mind. I won't mention that yet. Which is pretty interesting right off the bat. So if you choose Knuckles, you can just bypass the rest of the story from Sonic 3 and get straight into Knuckles' story, which is very much the abridged version, I will say, and not the full version, as in Sonic 3 and Knuckles. But it starts off, he's just chilling out at Mushroom Hill Zone, and he's just chilling with his animal buddies, and then Egg Robo comes out of nowhere, and I think just kind of pretty much throws a bomb out or something, if I remember correctly, and he starts chasing after him. And that's pretty much it. So, really, gameplay-wise, the only difference is you just wouldn't have that super ring right off the bat, or a chance at a Chaos Emerald within that game. So you would have to find those in their respective areas, as they would be in Sonic 3 and Knuckles. The game just gives you a free one there as it's trying to introduce that plot device. Which I do have to say is actually a really good way to go about that. I always found that pretty interesting, and actually a really good idea. So yeah, pretty cool. So, you know, like I said, one of my favorite zones by far, and we're just really going to be kicking it here. We're going to have a blast. Knuckles is really fun to use at this stage, because of, well, obviously all of his climbing, and with anything, this was pretty much the tutorial stage for Knuckles in the game, of Sonic and Knuckles. So as you saw there in the very beginning, we would actually have those areas where... Come on. We had those areas where, in the very beginning, it would pretty much teach you how to climb walls by forcing you to do so. Which, I know as a kid, I really struggled to figure that out. I was really struggling with that. I just could not figure it out. I was like, how do I do this? And I finally figured it out, I'm like, duh. But, yeah, so pretty cool there. Pretty darn cool. We got this awesome music backing us up, and we're kicking it real good. We're having a good time. Alright, got some more rings. But yeah, I think in the last episode I was talking a lot about reggae music and, you know, Knuckles being influenced by that, but reggae with one of my favorite bands, Rush. You know, I know this is probably more of a niche thing, but I always found it pretty interesting. Yeah, so I mean, I kind of misspoke with where their first use of reggae was from. It turns out, I'm sure, I don't know if you guys are familiar with the song Working Man, but that was really their first really big hit back in the mid-70s. And I'll explain after this boss fight here. But we've got the woodcutter here again, The only issue is we're just not going to jump as high. So once again, just grab a fire shield, watch out for those logs, and we're going to be looking pretty good here, my dudes. That's pretty much it. You just have to do the boss fight a little longer there. So we'll let that ring monitor show up. And okay, that gave us a 1-up, so that I'm fine with that. I kind of wanted to save that for the next zone, but that's okay. So we got through Act 1, we're headed into Act 2. So obviously, because we're Knuckles, and we just punch it right through there, we're not going to be going to that really autumn area right now. We're going to have to wait on that. So we're just hanging out in the green grassy lands here, we're having fun. But as I was saying, first big hit came with Working Man in the mid-70s on their first album. And in the late 70s, they came up with a reggae version of it, reggae intro, which, if you guys, I would highly recommend you guys watch that version of the song from their 2010-2011 tour, The Time Machine, where they begin with the reggae intro. It's super duper awesome. Alex Lifeson is amazing on the guitar in that song, period, and he just kicks it up to 11 with everything he's doing in there. So pretty darn cool. But yeah, I highly recommend watching that. So they started with that, and then their first studio album where they really incorporated it was 1980's Permanent Waves, which you guys probably don't know the album, but you definitely know 1 or 2 songs off the album. So the reggae influence is actually in one of their most famous songs, The Spirit of the Radio, where towards the end of the song they kind of go with that reggae beat as if you were turning the knobs on the radio back in the day and exploring these different music genres. So, you know, those guys are just geniuses, especially Neil Peart. I mean, the man wrote the lyrics. He was incredible. He was the drum player and he wrote the lyrics. We got another super ring here, so we're going to be playing another special stage. So let's hop up here, actually. Whoa, okay. That's okay. Let's hop up here to this one. So yeah, the other song you guys would really know on that album is Free Will. That one was actually really, really good with the guitar work. And that was the last time Geddy Lee really went high with his voice. I know he's probably said... He said that that's the highest he's ever sung, I think, but in my opinion, I don't think it is. Maybe this is just my ears. He's probably right. I think it's Cygnus X1, Book 1, Voyage, towards the end there. But anyways, you've got that going on in that song, and then, like I said, Moving Pictures comes along in 1981, by far their most successful and their greatest album. And, like I said, the reggae is really, really present within Vital Signs there, the last track on the album. Different song, very good though. But we've got our next Super Emerald here, and things are looking pretty good here. Things are looking pretty good. We've got 5 more to go, and I can think of where a couple more are, but we're going to be working our way slowly to get Hyper Knuckles here, so it's going to be pretty good. 5 more to go. Then, as I said, 1982 Signals album, by far, I think, one of their best albums, hands down. My 3rd favorite album, personally. I know I'm probably talking about a very niche thing, but, you know, just want to... Well, okay, got another bubble shield. A lightning shield. Okay, that's fine. But yeah, Digital Man, very, very reggae influenced. And then New World Man is actually pretty reggae influenced with the beats. That was actually their highest chart-topping song, which is very strange considering pretty much everybody knows Rush for Tom Sawyer and The Spirit of the Radio. So, go figure. But, you know, oh well. We got one more super ring here. That's at the highest points where you can transition to the really burnt forest after forest fire section there. So we're going to be playing this one here. This one's not too bad, period. And then I know there's a lot of reggae, there's supposedly a lot of reggae influence in Grace Under Pressure, which was from 1984. But I don't know if I really hear it. I could be totally wrong with... I could be totally wrong about it, but I just don't really hear it or something. I don't know. One song on there, Red Lenses, maybe. That song is pretty funky, but the bass line is incredible, I do have to say. But yeah, I mean, I know, you know, Rush is more of a you love them or you hate them kind of band, but they're not my favorite, and, you know, I would encourage you guys to listen to them. I always found them really cool. Always found them very different from everything else that's going on. You know, a lot of musicians, a lot of songwriters were writing songs because of, you know, a lot of their songs are about love, different things such as that, relationships. I always found Rush to be very different because they were consistently writing songs about different things. But here we go. We've got a third Super Emerald here. And I know of one more in this zone. So, that means 7 minus 3. 4 more to go. That's quick maths, my dude. That is quick maths right there. So we are looking pretty awesome here. So we're working our way here, and we're going to get to that private island there, where we can get any shield we want. And let's go! Alright. But as I was saying, I always found Rush to be very unique for trying to write songs about different things. They always wrote about philosophy, science fiction, technology, a lot of social commentary stuff, if you will. They were always that band that made me consistently think. It always made me consistently think about life and about different questions and different things such as that. You know, I will say, you know, I will say, Neil Peart is just a genius when it comes to lyrics, period. Alright, here we go. So, let's play the center one here. This one will be really easy. Neil Peart is by far, I believe, one of the best lyricists, songwriters, if you will, in all of music. He always had a way of making you think, of putting words together. And I know, once again, it's very much a you love him or you hate him kind of thing, but I always thought he was incredible at it, and I would argue he is the best songwriter, very possibly. Maybe Don Henley and Glenn Frey, but, you know, Neil Peart was amazing. He actually just passed away this year, if you guys didn't know, so, you know, I hope he is in heaven with Jesus and Mary, so that's going to be pretty neat to see him, I hope. But that was the other thing, too. I come from a... Whoa! Oh, no! Crap. I really screwed that up. Oh. That was the easiest one, too. What are you doing? Oh, no. Come on. Really? Oh my gosh. But I always appreciated Neil Peart's lyrics, even though he comes from a very different, especially religious perspective than I do. Where he was an agnostic, I believe, and I'm Catholic. And I always really appreciated his insights on things and his perspective on different things. When it comes to those kinds of matters, political and philosophical, matters. So, you know, Neil Peart, I hope I can see you in heaven one day and part of God's drumming band. That'd be pretty neat. But yeah, we're getting to the end of the zone here, and I know, kind of going off of a tangent of something I really do like. But, you know, just, I don't know, I thought reggae with Knuckles, and it kind of made me think of it. So, just kind of my thoughts. Just kind of my thoughts there. So, yeah. It made me think of something like, you know, this is something I kind of want to talk about, because that's something I like, and, you know, if you guys want to send any music to me to listen to or something, you know, I'm open to it. Just, you know, hit me up in the comments or something, you know, but something I kind of thought of, and I'm like, oh, this would be kind of fun to talk about. So, yeah. But yeah, we're just kind of cruising through this final stage here. Did not keep a fire shield for this fight. Same fight once again. Nothing too crazy going on here. You can get some free hits. So, as you saw there, it'll load Dr. Eggman's sprite into the cart because that's just what's going on here. So I don't think... I'm not sure why it's loading Dr. Eggman. I remember it loading Egg Robo, maybe in Sonic and Knuckles, but it'll load Eggman here for some reason, either because one for Egg Robo doesn't exist, or I guess it's just the closest place in memory or something like that. I don't know, but that's interesting. So, here we go. Knuckles got through Act 2, and that's the end of Mushroom Hill Zone for there. So, things are looking pretty good here. Got 4 more Super Emeralds to go, and just by messing that one up, but we'll get back there. And as you can obviously see, we're returning to my favorite zone in the game here. Flying Battery. And we're going to be really kicking it here in the next episode. Hate to leave you guys at a cliffhanger like that, but anyways, I think that's a good place to stop, and yeah, so I will see you guys in the next episode. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and we'll be kicking it here at Flying Battery again. And I will see you guys soon. See you, my dudes.